Mary is my neighbor, okay? So she spoke actually at a group Hudson Yards residents, and I thought that she was really interesting. And Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, is something that is so over my head. So I just told her I'm going to keep stopping her because my head starts to hurt. And I'm never worried or nervous at going into these meetings. I was nervous about this because I just feel like I have no freaking clue as to what this really is. I sort of do. I own some. I don't even know where to look now to see if it's up or down. I think it's probably down, but it's all right. So Mary Silverstein has been investing in crypto startups for the past 5 years, and has always been in venture capital. She attended and spoken at hundreds of events, including Davos and the World Economic Forum in 2020. She mentors young women in STEM and hopes to see more of them take the lead in tech space, yes. And she also had a TV pilot called Shark Chain. There you go. So Mary, come on up. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm going to just try to keep it as basic as we possibly can. So when did cryptocurrency start? Very basic.
Okay, so Bitcoin is the very first cryptocurrency. It is cryptography on top of blockchain. It is software.
Okay.
And
go back. We might not get out of the gate here. I'm sorry.
It's a little different than saying digital
Okay.
money. It's a little different than that.
Okay.
It doesn't need a server like all the apps in your phone have. Within its own block, it stores the data. There's no CEO and there's no owner.
Okay, so
that's what makes it special.
I was watching something. I was trying to prep on this, right? I have not had to prep on speakers about the vagina, okay? But this I did. I have one. I know how it works, sort of. But this I needed. So anyway, so when I was there, so the blockchain. We just have to step back for 1 second. When somebody was just explaining it as a way to, instead of, that's not me. Everybody turn their ringers off. It's a way to pay somebody without an intermediary. In its most
Correct.
basic, would that be sort
Yes,
of?
that was why it was invented.
Okay.
So that I could send $5 to somebody in Africa for less than a penny, 24/7, and they don't need a bank account. There's 1.7 billion people on the planet that are unbanked. So,
Unbanked meaning they don't have a bank account.
right, but they have a phone. It's the one thing you need. So therefore, they can have an app, and I can send them this money and not go through that.
Okay. So maybe we should just start with like the most basic of how you have it, and then kind of explain how it would work. So if you wanted to invest in Bitcoin, okay? Now, sorry, cryptocurrency. There's not just Bitcoin. There's many different types or names, and we just want to name a few of the kind of the most.
One's on the top, the biggest. So everyone's heard of Ethereum, I'm sure, after Bitcoin. Cardano, Avalanche.
You can talk out there just because they probably
Solana.
can't hear us.
Lately, you probably heard of Mana, Sand. Those are metaverses. And we have different types.
Wait,
like
hold
you
on 1
said.
second, sorry. You can use those pads that are on your table, okay? I mean, so use them because
You should definitely take notes because it's hard
Take
to
notes.
remember all these little
Okay.
things. And we also have something called a stable coin. It's $1 for $1.
Okay,
And
I'm
there's a-
sorry, can you just say that again? Just
A stable coin
a stable coin?
is $1 for $1. So you might send her $5 and it's $5. It's not going to move. Eventually, every country in the world will convert to that. More so than Bitcoin. Eventually, Bitcoin will not be as crazy volatile as it is. It will slowly slow down over time, but a stable coin is a stable coin.
Okay, so a stable coin is,
So that's how we think, right? We think
Right.
$5 is still $5. Even
so
though
why
the
would
economy
I
is
send
slower.
somebody a stable coin and not just send them?
Well, you owe me
$1.
$100 and you want to send me $100. If you send it in Bitcoin now, it's worth $95, $102. You know, it keeps moving.
Right, so why would I send a stable coin versus sending $1, like on a Venmo or a PayPal? or-
Because this is a much better financial system. The whole world is switching over to using the system. Every country in the world.
Okay.
This is the fourth revolution.
Okay.
The third in 1995 was the internet. Before then, you sent paper in the mail, and you couldn't just chat with people in another country, right? This is the fourth.
Okay.
Not
So-
my opinion, this factual, I mean.
So let's back up. So instead of having a bank involved, because when I send you $1, I'm sending it, I'm wiring it, or I'm sending it in Venmo, or I'm sending it in PayPal, and there's an intermediary.
Right.
So here I'm not. So
Right.
explain.
Permissionless.
Permissionless.
Venmo can kick you out. They can ban you. And so when Bitcoin was invented, you were not supposed to get a 1099. You weren't even supposed to be investing. It was just supposed to be me and you, and I can just send you whatever I want. I pay tax on my money. Why can't I give you some? It was just supposed to be that simple. So that was January 2009, just to answer your
So
question.
that's when it started, January 2009.
Right after 2008.
Okay, so there was the stock market crash and the banking crisis. And did it come about because people felt as though, hey, listen, the banks that we think are kind of rock solid are not so much?
Correct. And there were two different people trying to build a better form of a digital money, and this form worked.
Okay, so I have to do what? If I want to have an account of, let's say Bitcoin, because it could be a couple of the other cryptocurrencies, but let's say Bitcoin. I want to have that. What do I first have to do? And can anybody in any state have a crypto account, or are certain states restricted?
So every state is different. New York is the toughest. So for all the other states are pretty cool. New York is just, they limit what you can buy. The safest places that I would recommend that you're going to go in and set up an account, you have to put in your driver's license, your passport, and connect your bank account, is either Coinbase, I like Voyager app, FINRA, SEC approved. The guy that is
I'm sorry, what is FINRA? Are those two?
FINRA and SEC, they're watching the money
Okay.
and the laws and the rules
Right.
to everything where your money's involved. So you want them to check it out and make sure it's safe for you. It's regulated. You don't just want a random company that somebody started. You want to know that your government is saying, we
So
give our
Coinbase
blessing.
is an app that you can have on your phone, and you can also set it up on your laptop.
And a
right?
website.
Right.
Voyager's only an app. Voyager gives you interest on some of the coins you're holding. Very good interest, more interest than you've ever seen before. The CEO was one of the people who started E-Trade. So he tried to make it just like E-Trade. So those of us who use the E-Trade app find this easy to use. That's why those are my two favorites. Coinbase is the oldest American, strongest, safe exchange that is one of the two legal places that the US government says you can leave your crypto and not take it with you.
Can you say,
Custody, it's called. Coinbase,
Coinbase.
and I like the Voyager app because it's simplistic if you're used to buying and selling stock. Remember, this is 24/7 crypto. It's not 9 to 4:30. So it can move at any hour when you're sleeping. The whole world is kind of in there. So
So if
kinda
I want
on
to
your
take, so
phone.
if I want to take $1,000, so a friend of mine's son was having and was releasing some art as an NFT. Don't even ask. So anyways, and I was in the Bahamas, and I'm like thinking, oh, I'll just buy it. I couldn't buy it. I had to buy crypto. And I couldn't just buy Bitcoin or crypto. I didn't even know what crypto was, but it was Ethereum. So I just thought that I could just go ahead and just start an account, and it is not easy. I mean, it is, there's a lot of checks and balances that it just, you can't do it overnight. So don't think that you're going to set this up and it's going to be 2 seconds.
And you have to give it 7 to 10 days maybe to check you. They're going to check you for money laundering and who you are, KYC, know your customer, make sure you're a legit person in the United States. And I recommend that you use places in the United States to start, because this way you feel safe, you can trust it. If you don't want to take your coins off those two places, you are safe. They both use legal custody places that the United States government approves of. But Bitcoin was invented not to be stored anywhere but on you in what's called a cold wallet, offline, so no one can ever steal it. If it's inactive, nobody can hack it, no one can take it from you. But we have come a long way because most of us lost our passcodes and we get confused. And then what happens? Oops, we kind of get lazy, we want to leave it too. We're used to leaving our money in the bank online, right? So these people have come along and made it safer. That's why the government took their time and went through who they are and made sure that they were safe.
So you want to take $1,000 and you want to put it in Coinbase, and then when you do that, you have to come up with a pretty crazy, very long code, right? I mean, if you lose, is it still like, if you have your cryptocurrency in Coinbase and you lose that code? I mean, it was like, you hear these horror stories,
Okay,
like
no.
somebody lost their
So-
code
so-
and millions of dollars have
What
disappeared.
Ann's talking about is called a private key. So if you're holding your own wallet in your possession, and it is a device that you can buy in the store.
Like an actual store?
There's actual devices called a Treasure. There's
Like when you're saying a store, you're talking a virtual store, right?
No,
You're
no,
not-
no. There's real
like a-
devices that you buy, and you can put it in your safe. It's called a cold wallet. We can
Okay.
transfer it in here, take it off the internet, put it in there, and lock it up.
Like a zip drive.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly like that. But it has all these passcodes that we're gonna put in it. So if we use this, and it's a wallet, and we're gonna store it, we're in charge of the keys. If you leave it in Coinbase, it's not that different than like Chase Bank, except we have one more layer of security called 2FA that you must use. And I insist that all of you do that, and that you do not use your cell phone. You use an app called Google Authenticator.
Wait,
All the
sorry.
instructions are in Coinbase.
Okay, sorry. I'm on my phone, I've got an iPhone. I download the app Coinbase. You're saying I should not just download the app,
When you download it, you have to make a passcode,
Right.
email,
right?
and then you have to put security on it.
Right.
They're gonna say, do you wanna just use your phone? The answer is no. You
Do you
don't.
want to use your phone to have somebody call? you
To,
mean?
to send you like 6 digits to prove
Okay,
it's you.
I got it.
Because they can easily hack your SIM card, and this has happened a lot in the past. You might have read about it. So it's just an app in your phone, but they can't hack that app. No one's ever hacked it. It's got 6 digits that go across every
So instead
minute.
of saying, I want to use so text me, then you're saying, no, I want to use the Google Authenticator.
Right, and when you do that, the one thing you must know is up comes on your screen a QR code. You print that out, make a few copies. You cannot store it in your computer. Do not store it in your cloud, because then they can hack it there. Just store it in a safe in your mother's house, in your kids',
Okay.
a few places.
Okay.
And then it's yours, that's it, okay?
Okay.
If you lose it, it's okay, it's not the end. We can still replace it. It just takes a few weeks to pay. So that is what you scan with the app, and you're in. So now I'm gonna put in my username, my passcode, and it's gonna ask me for 6 digits.
This
And
is
I'm in.
why you can hire Mary, and I'm gonna give you her information, because she can help you walk through all of this if you wanna do this, because you can see, it's not, because I'm just thinking, I'm just gonna buy myself some Bitcoin, and, you know, it's just like, it doesn't work like that. So, first of all, you don't wanna buy something that you don't know about, so let's kind of
I agree with
back
that.
up to that. So, tell me just, and again, not the history, but how volatile has it been? So for somebody that bought $1,000 of Bitcoin in 2009, it's gone anywhere from,
So Bitcoin started out
millions to
at
then
8
down, I mean-
decimal places over, 0.000000001. It is today $42,600. It has gone up over 10,000% in 10 years. It is the best investment in history. There's never been a better one. This isn't a scam. It's not digital money. It's a different kind of technology that the whole world seems pretty interested in. Every bank in the world has been building security for the last 5 years, so they will be able to buy it. They're buying it so they can sell it to you. They will mark it up. You can buy things in the stock market. They will mark it up. You make this, they make that. You can buy today your own Bitcoin and hold it yourself and just leave it there like maybe you do gold or other things, and now you can make all of the profit off of it. There are only, by the way, 21 million Bitcoin in existence. Almost all 21 have been mined. Mining is computer algorithms. That's how it's made, that's how it's processed, and that's how it's verified that it is a real Bitcoin. I cannot send
that's
you
when I go off the cliff.
fake Bitcoin.
Mining is like, I don't even, does any?
Very simple, it's real simple.
Like really, really tell us who understands this.
There's 2 kinds of mining, okay? The first kind of mining is when a computer's running algorithms and
But
creating.
wait, why would you be mining in the first place? So wait, so-
You and I may not be,
Wait, I don't, okay,
but
so.
techies were.
Right, but if I just get my Bitcoin, I got it in my Coinbase, I don't have to mine anywhere, right?
You don't have to
No?
do anything. You can
Okay.
just sit on it, except I would advise you to put it in a place where you can get interest. I'm getting 5% on my Bitcoin. I'm getting 9% on my US dollar stable coin, dollar for dollar. I'm getting 12% on my Polkadot coin. That's 1% a month, and I'm paid monthly. If today that coin
But
is
why would
$20,
why would they be giving you that kind of interest?
so this is part of the
And can you
mining.
can you also lose it? So if you give, so when you were saying that is it Voyager?
Mm-hmm.
So if Voyager is paying you interest, and you have $1,000, and you're getting paid, so is it some months 0.5%? Is it some months
Only if
5%?
they change what they have a list in the back of the app, and they'll tell you what they give. And there's one other place that if you like this stuff, Celsius is also legit. Alex Mashinsky, CEO, approved by our government. They've been through, believe me, the government's been through it. All these companies make sure they're 100%. They also give good interest. I made my own little spreadsheet, compared Coinbase to Voyager to Celsius, and I had to put each coin where I can get the best percent.
So, but why wouldn't everybody just take, okay, first of all, I guess, okay, can you have retirement assets in cryptocurrency?
Yes, but not in the places we just said.
Okay, all right. Are there hedge funds or funds, like a money market fund, that if I didn't want to go ahead and do my Coinbase, and I didn't want to have my little wallet, and I didn't want to go out there and mine, I just want somebody to like deal with all the different things
You
and,
can just buy some stock in Grayscale. Grayscale has Grayscale Bitcoin, Grayscale Ethereum, and every time they feel there's a successful enough coin, they buy up a lot of it,
So-
and now you can buy a share in it. But you can just buy the coin yourself and make so much more money, and the interest.
right, but you might
They're
buy
making all that.
Ethereum, and Ethereum goes through the roof, and Bitcoin, right, because you're then, it's assuming that you know about which coin is.
Right. So right now,
But
no,
is there
we
like
don't
a
have
fund that
not
would be-
yet really here in the US. They've been trying for a few years, they haven't been approved yet.
Okay. So many countries, I think it was Peru, are they, many countries are kind of looking to, or maybe going to, have that as their form of currency.
Yes.
Right.
There's 5 or 6, 7 countries this week that are announcing that, but the first one is El Salvador. So they gave everybody in their country a wallet. Obviously, the wallet's registered to you. It's not private. They know who you are. And they put about $80 of Bitcoin in it. And hopefully these people will hold it. If they need to use it, then they did. But if they hold it, the value will go up. And they just bought more. This week, there are a lot of companies that made announcements how much more Bitcoin they just bought. Companies they buy by the billions. And it's
Countries.
countries for currency, smaller countries. All countries, though, will switch over to a form of cryptocurrency. So United States could just go United States coin. And that's it. They take your $100 and they give $100 a coin. You won't even know the difference, really.
Okay, so what's the difference? So I was listening to a podcast, and they were saying there are companies that will take your money. So, sorry, like when people are talking, I'm in real estate, right? So people are talking about all these, crypto gazillionaires buying apartments. So from buying a pair of shoes to buying an apartment, so now I have taken my $1,000, now I have made $1 million, and I want to go and buy a car. How do I transfer that? Do I owe taxes on that gain? And are you supposed to pay, let me just stick with paying. So I've got $1 million now in cryptocurrency. How do can I just go to a store and buy with that? How do I do that? Is there a credit card that will take, so do tell.
So yes, so just like any other security, even though this is not a security, there's long-term and short-term games, and yes, I can do 1099 at the end of the year from these sites. I pay my taxes.
But do you have to, if you haven't
You
sold
can use it. You can use it directly.
So
There
wait,
are
hold on.
homes
If-
for
if-
sale. Let's say we take Bitcoin.
But hold on, if I've gone from $10,000 to $100,000 and I haven't sold it, do you have to pay taxes on it? So it's only
Not
when
as
you,
of today. We don't.
okay, so only when you sell it or go to use it. Okay, so now I want to buy
Kind
a
of
car.
like your stock.
Exactly.
We don't sell it, right? We used to go from coin to coin. We would sell one coin and buy another, and not trade it to cash. And we were told 5 years ago, as long as it's coin to coin, or you're buying a cup of coffee, you're okay. But they said, no, we realize that's not okay either. So I'm like, okay, every time, like, no big deal. But So I would always just pay the tax. It's not worth the headache.
Okay, so if you
but-
buy a coin, if you go Ethereum to Bitcoin and there's a transfer, then technically it triggers a gain. So if you are gonna hold on to Bitcoin, you hold on to it, but now I wanna go and buy a car.
Right.
So how do I transfer that out? How do I take my,
So you can either sell your Bitcoin,
but what does that mean?
Coinbase or Voyager
So-
for cash.
Okay, so I
And take-
basically go to Coinbase and I say, I now want to take it out. So they then transfer whatever the exchange rate is at that point.
Right.
Right? So now they're
You want to
giving me.
cash that out, or you can take it out and put it into another wallet, or you can use that wallet in the car dealer or in the restaurant or for your airfare and in overstock.com. He's been taking Bitcoin
Wait, okay, so wait,
since 2014.
but how, okay, wait, but I'm sorry, how do I buy a car? How do I buy,
There are dealerships that do that. The first one ever was a Lamborghini dealership, which is why that's the symbol of.
but is there a cash? I think somebody was saying that there was.
Cash out.
There's a cash card or or.
Okay, so some of these sites have a card. and Voyager is coming out with a credit card. So if you have your money in the USDC, gaining 9%, you can just use that credit card to eat right here dinner, just like you would a Visa card, and it will take from that money. You can just use the 9% if you want. You can use all of it. It's your money. So you put all your money in there. Why use a bank? You get 0.025?
Right.
And use that. Same thing. You can use any of the coins, but I know it's hooked to the USD for sure.
Got it.
And a lot, crypto.com is another site, but it only works through an app. Not my favorite, so I haven't really, it's good for trading if you're more into trading. They have a credit card, they have 10 credit cards, all different colors, so you can show off. But in crypto, you don't show off. You don't want the black card. Then you're a target. You never wanted to, you make a lot of money, you don't tell people, you keep that yourself, you don't want to have a headache. So this is something where you really don't brag about.
So if you've got something on Coinbase, and what kind of insurance is there? So when you have a bank, you've got $250,000 worth of insurance, and if the bank goes bust, or if somebody hacks them.
Correct.
Right? So what
There
is?
is no FDIC insurance on your crypto. It's
Okay.
basically you're in charge. If you're legit hacked, you'll show them and prove it to them, and if you really are, chances are they will back you up and give you the money.
If it's Coinbase, but not if it's in your private little off-site wallet. That you,
Right, which that should not be hacked. And if we step on it and break it, we buy a new one, there's these words, 12 words, that's the passcode, we can just reset it up. As long as you have those 12 words, you just reset it up.
That's what.
That's called private keys. And that means private means you never share that with anybody. There's also a public key.
What happens if you die? Like who you're
So
like,
inside of Coinbase and inside of Voyager, in the back, if you were to open this account tonight, you go in the back and you say, if I die, this is who gets my crypto. Right there. Put the beneficiary. You see, we're removing a lot of intermediaries. We are trying to make things more organized. We're gonna knock out, unfortunately, every kind of industry. We're cutting it all down. That's what the blockchain is doing. So it's going into every industry in the world.
okay, so blockchain. So let's go back because you started to go into blockchain from right out of the gate, and I was like, oh no, back that up because everybody just kind of throws around and the blockchain, and that's going to change how we send out our medical records. And
Correct.
okay, I don't know what the hell blockchain
Okay.
is.
So let's go back to Bitcoin.
Okay.
So someone,
Who here knows who
a
blockchain is?
PhD engineer tech professor was playing around, or whoever this guy was friends with these people at least. He's unknown. He doesn't want us to know who he is. And he's also probably worth like $100 billion, so he doesn't want us to know. He has 1 million Bitcoin. So he took something called cryptography. That's one kind of tech. And he put it on top of something called blockchain, a second kind of technology that our military invented about 40, 50 years ago to track our airplanes in the military. So no one else could see that but us, okay? And then they put it on a shelf. He pulled this off, he put it together, and this actually works. So when I say the blockchain, that's what the blocks move on. Think of them moving along. And here's what that's like. Right now, if you use your phones, your computers, you're in the internet, you're using HTTPS. That's the protocol that we all use. Bitcoin is a protocol. It's the bottom layer of what we're gonna work on. So things slide across it. Now, if we use HTTP right here, the building, or we're paying for this Wi-Fi, but someone's paying for it. So if I send you Bitcoin, it's a protocol, I'm gonna pay for it. I'm the sender, I pay 5 cents, as long as I pay for it. And I don't have a cable company and a bill and the papers. It doesn't cost me $200, it costs me 5 cents. I'm done. So that's how things are changing. Again, we're knocking out all those companies in the middle, and we do it ourselves. Now, I want to hire you to come and work for me. So I'm going to pay her in Ethereum when she helps me do this job. So together we go digitally and we sign a little contract. And it says, I give you $100 in Bitcoin when the job is done. And we set it up so that the Bitcoin can verify that it's done. Okay, it's called a smart contract. She puts the crypto in. When the job is done, it just slides over. No more billing, no more accounting. Think about the corporate world.
So how am I, I'm sorry, how am I sliding that over to you? What form of, like,
So instead of a lawyer and a 20-page contract for a
Right,
business,
right.
or just, and then they narrow it down in industries and they all sign the same
Right.
paperwork, right? It's a digital form and it's called a smart contract. Lawyers will be needed to set them up, but you won't have to go to them anymore. You'll just,
But if I just didn't want to sign a good contract and I just want to pay you $100, how do I
how do I get that from you if I don't see you?
Well, if I just want to give you, if I want to pay you and I want to give you 100
Do I have to
Bitcoin,
send you a bill? I don't want to bother. The minute the job's done, you want to be paid. I put my money up front, slides over when it's done like this.
but tell me how, like, how do
The
we
smart
get-
contract verifies. So blockchain is all about verifying. And that's what happens. So when a Bitcoin moves, it has to be verified. So it goes backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, and everything inside the data of that block is being verified. That's the second type of mining. And that's why there's good interest. Because when you lend it to them, you can put it into the mining pool. And so everything is verified 100% on the blockchain. There's nothing that you can lie about, and until recently, everything was transparent. And that's what we want for everything in the world. I'm willing to give up all my privacy, including my money, if my government would, or if my voting systems would. What if everything was open and honest everywhere we went? And you can never lie again no matter what. That's what the blockchain tries to do. So it's a great place for your health records, and it's a great place for your driver's license. And the NFTs that Ann mentioned stands for non-fungible token. And on there, they will put your license, your passport, there'll be no more paper, and you'll know the passport to get into it. And then that's it, use it. They're gonna use this also to do settlements, which is much faster. So when you sell a home,
Right.
it's like 3 days for the title to settle. This will cause instant settlement called a T0. No time, right? So when you buy and sell your stock, it has to settle. They have to wait a few days till they can resell it. What if we took the whole stock market and we put in the blockchain? That's a T0. There's a company called T0, has all the licensing, that's what they're doing. We're converting the stock market. NASDAQ tried to do it themselves, but we're building it because they don't have the techies.
Right.
Even Facebook doesn't have the top techies that are in the space. These are the smartest tech people I've met. This and space tech are the two smartest people I've really ever met, because there's not that many people and it's very deep, and they didn't learn this all their life. They had to
Right.
come in and create from scratch. We're building a whole new world. That's why all of you can make unusual money still. We're just starting the metaverse. Yet Gucci bought a store. You know, it's really, really
Right.
interesting and exciting
Metaverse is
stuff.
a whole other
But
thing.
it's based on the blockchain.
Right.
And I'm just saying it's not that far out there. And
Right.
so when they're building the plumbing for that metaverse, I start reading up and deciding what I like. I throw $100 on this one, $1,000 on this one, and $2,000 on that one. It's my favorite.
Right. I'm gonna open this up for questions. Yeah. So, go ahead, you knock yourself out.
Okay.
You started to ask about mining, but I'm not sure you really described
Oh,
it.
please don't go to mining.
I think everybody hears the word mining, or you're gonna
Keep
go
it
home and
super,
look at an
super,
app and say,
simple.
how are they giving 9% when my bank can't do that? So there's two things what mining means. When Bitcoin was first invented, you run algorithms through a program in your computer. Today, they have more and more, and it's like a room this size or bigger, filled with GPUs, the base part of the computer, and it's all running out. People build companies. No individuals really do it. You can. By the way, I have a node in the apartment. This little box, it's mining. It's mining one particular coin, not Bitcoin. It costs me about $1 a month of electricity. It makes me $100 a month. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because of the system, because I want to support the system. But this is it's something called Helium, which is like AT&T and Verizon. And it's an out of It's not in through HTTPS, and eventually we're all gonna call each other in communication. So we're in every industry in the world.
Mining is a way of investing.
So mining is one, creating the coin the first time, or two, approving the coin along the blockchain. So I can never send you something that's not valid. I can only send you a true coin.
Anyone do the mining?
Anyone can get the software and do mining, but what you and I would rather do is we lock it up, get interest, and lend it to them, and they can do the mining, because they have big factories, companies, I mean, lands all over this, crazy amounts that's going on where people build these companies.
Right.
$billion companies, there's probably 4 alone that I have stock in.
Okay, we have a lot of questions, so we'll touch on the questions.
So I'm trying to
No, I know, it's hard.
close
So-
up.
it's so
Does it
hard.
help?
Okay. Good.
It's hard, it's very new.
Christi-
Just what happens if people just don't get it? Like, you know, like the older people.
There's a lot of people who just don't
No,
get
but I'm
it.
telling you, this is why, because I think it's really interesting, and I'm not saying that anybody should do it, but it's like, I think there should be, I want to take some of my money that it's not gonna make or break me and put it in there, and just put it in, because and I want to learn about it, because I think when you put some money into it, you want to learn about it, hurts your head a little bit, but you need somebody to help you, because you can't, I don't think that you really can just go and do this on your own, but anyway. But if you don't get it, you don't get it, then don't do it, then
Tonight
stick
I
with
would-
stocks, I mean, you know.
Tonight, I would tell you that all of the crypto together has a value of 1.9 trillion. We've been to 3 trillion, and we know we're gonna be at 10 trillion very quickly, because the metaverse is just part of what crypto can do. It's just part of it, okay? And metaverse, by the way, will also work with the satellites in the sky, so.
So different currencies that just go up and down, like what is it just appetite? Like what determines the currency and how?
Like would a war, like if we go to war, which, I mean, is that something that
The news
probably
affects-
would
No, but
spur?
different currencies, because there's Dogecoin, there's.
Right,
Bitcoin,
Okay, so there's
right?
different stock, right? And there's different types of stock. Something like Amazon, you know what that does, right? Then there's techie stocks, then there's all kinds of stock that do different things, same kind of products, but you're actually buying the technology. So when you buy Bitcoin, you're not buying a Bitcoin, you buy a fraction, you buy $100 worth. But you're actually holding the tech yourself, or they're holding it for you in Coinbase.
So what's the difference between Bitcoin and Dogecoin?
Dogecoin was meant to be a silly coin for
But it
memes.
still went up
Meme coin.
in value.
Because somebody famous like Elon Musk talks about it, boom.
Okay, so what are the other ones? There are other.
So
currencies.
Shiba is what followed that. It said, look what Dogecoin did, let's make an even better one. Let's make like 25 trillion coins and see what happens. And everyone said, oh, I could buy 1 million. I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm buying 1 million coins for $77. And when everybody does that, guess what happens? Does that, and then it's gonna do that.
So you just stick with the one, like so you're gonna stick with.
I own tons and tons of all different coins, and sometimes I have to sell them because I feel that's it. And sometimes I say it's just starting,
Is
and
this a little like baseball cards?
yes, and I bought some of those NFTs too.
And you get the gum?
That's the perfect NFT example.
Right.
A trading card, a piece of paper gets wet and it gets ruined. Now, it's this digital thing in your phone. You can show all your friends. It's safe.
Well, that's for an NFT, right? I mean,
And
right,
that's the
right.
NFT, which is
That's-
also
that's
part of the
the whole
blockchain.
thing with the art world.
That's what it should be.
Crazy.
The art is up to you. The trading cards is what I believe in.
So early on, you guys had kind of converged it to Venmo. So originally, Venmo wasn't very regulated, right?
Right.
Like I had people pay me and I built up this kind of purse of money that I loved and I could kind of, now everything has to come in, go to my bank, anytime I want to pay, it has to go from my bank back to Venmo, so it's really gotten regulated.
Very.
So very regulated, so like early on, you were saying, well, you can just kind of have your money in here and pay it out and nobody's the wiser, right? So when the US regulates that more, does that benefit go away? Because, I used to love Venmo, right? Now it's like, yeah, I use it, but it's not the same thing.
You will still hold it in your own wallet.
Or what happens if you're in Coinbase? Is that your own
And they
wallet?
will hold it for you, and I guess you can still take it off.
But,
So
but,
these are-
but they may make you then have to put in all of your financial information.
You have to put it in now. You've had to put it in the US always.
Okay.
always.
So no matter who you pay or who pays you, there's a record of it.
Oh, if you can use it for business transactions, of
No, but
course.
I'm just saying, like, even if they're,
There can always, everything is trackable and traceable, especially on the blockchain. However, they're gonna check you out first before you have an account. And then if they see unusual numbers, just like your bank account, right? They see $50,000 coming
Right.
in every day, they're gonna wonder what's going on.
Right.
But if they just see regular amounts going to regular places, they don't care. It's the same kind of thing like that. But you see, we're just starting a brand new planet. And this is still early.
Right.
There's a lot of money to be made.
Okay, wait, hold on.
And then we'll go to the back.
First, Mary, thank you so much for shining a light on this deep, dark world of cryptocurrency. I had two very quick questions for you. I think one was just a continuation of what my friend mentioned here. Crypto is very volatile right now, and you mentioned, and you said a statement that caught my attention. You said when it stabilizes. So in your opinion, what would that look like?
Well, that would be when almost every country in the world is holding some, most people are holding some. We're all holding US dollars, so although we know that they have to print more and whatever happens, to us it's more like this. We don't really feel that, but your dollar's not always worth $1. Sometimes it's really worth 99 cents, $1.01. But we don't feel that, we don't apply that when we go to use it in a store. The price is still the price, except it's not, is it? Because if you look at the price of gas today, your dollar just went down.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between that and the cryptocurrency. Not only did my crypto just go up, but I'm also getting 5% interest on it. So I'm making money. Now remember, when you get interest on cryptocurrency, and it's not a stable coin, but say it's Bitcoin, and today Bitcoin's $42,000, they're paying me 5% divided by 12 months, right, per month, and now the price doubles. That just doubled what I got from them, because they pay me in coin. So they pay me in Ethereum, they're gonna pay me in the Dogecoin. But Dogecoin is a penny. And if next year it's 10 cents, that interest went up by 10 times. So the government's trying to figure out how to tax you on that one. Because you got it, but you didn't cash it out. Unlike the bank, when they give you interest, there's money sitting there. That one they can't figure out yet. And honestly, that's confusing. So until you cash it, at the moment, you're not going to be taxed.
I think the next question is a quick one, and I think it might be very relevant to a lot of us who are entrepreneurs here. You said that we could get paid via crypto. Now, I've encountered such proposals with certain clients of mine. What happens, you said that once we verify that the task is done, we get paid. Which means if I'm hiring you to do something and I owe you $10, then the responsibility is on me to confirm that you've done the job. But how do we control the misuse of it? Supposing I take your services and never sort of commit to the fact that the task is done. Well, is there like a control authority? Like, how does that work?
So what I was trying to explain is there's something called a smart contract. Okay, so we're gonna set this up. We don't have to do this. You could just hire me and I could pay you crypto anyway. I just send it to you when I feel like it, right? But we're gonna set this up so that we don't have to have contact again. Okay? This works in corporate companies, where one company hires another to do this process. And when they're done, they send out a bill. And then until they pay it, it's a 90-day turnaround. So we can build this into a smart contract so it's part of the tech. And when the process is finished, it will verify that that was done, and it slides the crypto over. Therefore, we eliminate the billing department, the accounting department, and the CEO is thrilled to death. So they love all the technology that we've shown them, because we're saving them a fortune. Again, we're cutting out a lot of intermediaries. We are really changing how everything's working. We're gonna cut out so many jobs that 50% of this world are gonna be developers, 50%. And all of you in this room could probably be developers. It's not as hard as they think.
Developers.
The coders. I worked
I
with a
will
guy
not be
in
a
Florida
coder.
4 years ago.
I can tell you I will
He
not
took
be a
homeless
coder.
women and taught them coding, and 2 out of every 10, he said, was great. Great. He didn't say good, he said great. I've worked with people in California. They take battered women and homeless women, and they teach them how to build apps, websites, or code. So I've tried to work with things, especially with women, and promote women and back women, and that's, the STEM is the sciences. I was pre-med, I came out of school, I said, I'm not gonna be a doctor, it's 12 more years, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And there was no one to guide me and say, wait, you have talents here, I didn't know what to do. So today I wanna help guide these women that wanna come into these areas, and also make them comfortable, because I even, like I was telling before, walked out of a room 3-4 years ago here in the city, there was 1,000 men in the hallway and me, and I actually felt weird. And I never feel like that.
Right.
We need the women to come in, feel strong, and feel they can take charge. They should stand up in a meeting, and they should speak their minds, because they probably know more about what they're talking about than the man. Just saying, okay? So it's part of what we like to promote in the tech space. And the men are very supportive and very nice in tech space.
Okay,
to be
we
honest.
have 2 more minutes,
There's
so that
someone
means
all the way
2
in the
more
back.
questions, there you go.
Yeah, so as a business, if someone is paying in crypto, you said that you don't have to pay taxes on that until it's cashed out, correct?
No, the reason we would do this would be an ecosystem, so that we would just eliminate certain parts to business.
Okay, so Terry, for instance, is my fabulous hairdresser, thank you. Anyway, so, but if I wanted to pay Terry, so I go to see Terry, so I have my Coinbase. Am I gonna pay her with my Coinbase?
Sure, why not?
Okay,
She has
so-
a QR code up on her.
Okay, so
I was inventing it out for exactly that,
Okay,
6
so-
years ago, and then found the Bitcoin,
So
so it's the same concept.
from Coinbase, I can pay her?
No, Coinbase won't let you do it. Voyager will.
Okay, so Voyager,
Coinbase has more protection. You
Okay.
have to give 48 hours notice.
okay, so I wanna pay her, so am I paying her like Venmo with a scan code, like a
Can.
QR code?
Yep, if she has a QR code for her wallet up on the wall, you scan it, it's on.
And that's it?
Split second.
So at that
But
point,
now,
I can buy other things with the same, without paying taxes on it.
but does she have to pay taxes? I've now paid her $100.
Theoretically, you have to pay tax. You just earned money, right?
Right.
So the US government would like you to pay tax. They will catch up, because that's how they just got into the PayPals and the Venmos, and they'll send you a 1099.
Yeah, the same as.
If you work in a hair salon, they're looking, they know what you should be making, right?
Right.
They're checking, and everyone in hair salons know that. So it'll become the same thing. Depends how many transactions. If you have $5, $10 coming in all day long, what are they gonna think, right? So,
Okay, one more.
does that help?
I was wondering, in your opinion, how do you think is the best way to create value behind an NFT?
Behind an NFT.
Yes, if you're creating an NFT, what's the best way to place
Well, it depends what your vision of the NFT should be used for. So the art world is just art anyway, right? It's a matter of opinion, what you value your art at. A lot of people don't see any value in digital art, okay? Especially the art that we're used to seeing already. If it's a moving, techie-made thing, I get it, right? To me, it's for a ticket to go to a game, because we have a secondary market. And as a teenager, I was sold fake tickets. Everyone's probably been scammed once. You can't be scammed if we use an NFT, if we use the blockchain. So that secondary market will use all these crypto NFT tickets, and not only that, you can keep that ticket. Maybe they put a special design just for that night. You can keep it forever. You can write in your phone, and you can show your friends. So that's a beautiful idea for it. Like I said, also just to have your driver's license, your passport, okay? It's yours, nobody can break into it, they can't change it. And we can also track it if someone were to steal it, and we can actually recreate it if we have to.
Well,
But
the
you
whole-
personally can't change the
Right.
information.
The whole kind of NFT, that's like it's like a whole other segment. I mean, it's connected.
It's all connected.
I mean, no, it's connected, but
We're
it's
gonna
kind of like
have a million purposes for it. So art's just a start. They're gonna
Right.
do the same thing with the music, just like all of a sudden we went from music that you bought in a store to an iPod. It's a
Yeah, that's
huge
such
change.
Right, an album,
Well, now you're
right.
gonna do it again. They'll try and get all the music on the NFT, switch it over again. This way they will not get screwed out of their royalties. We'll see how that one goes. To me, I just told you my favorite purpose, literally. Trading cards. My son made me buy 2 packs of basketball trading cards, $20 a pack, $40. I already got a special card, it's already worth $125. I was like, this is great. Otherwise, you can hold it, you can save it, you can sell it, but I can take it and show it to you now that I have this limited special card. the paper ones. So it's the same concept. We're just sort of rebuilding and redoing. The newest, most unusual side to this is when they say metaverse, because that's a whole nother thing that none of us are used to. But I promise the first time you ever put on an Oculus, okay, it's sort of like 3D, but it's inside these glasses, you're gonna be blown away. You will never seen anything like this in your life. 2019, I think they put it on my head in Davos, and I wasn't taking it off. I looked at this guy.
This
and
is for the
I
metaverse,
call
right?
kid, teenager, young boy, he's probably 25 years old. Do you need money? Are you raising money? Do you need money? I'll give you money. And he starts laughing and goes, I didn't even do anything. I already got $200 million. I don't need money, thanks. They threw money at him. I have friends that have been thrown money at because their inventions like this are so amazing. So if we right now all want to go somewhere, we all want to go to Times Square, we could all put on our Oculus together, and Anne can say now, everybody go on your phone and click this, and she could take us on a tour and show us what she wants. And we will be there here, but we will see right there because there's smart city in the
So
sky.
that's the metaverse.
Where the metaverse can be inside that, or it can be, we can literally go in New York City, in the real New York City.
Okay.
While we're sitting
I
here.
think we're gonna end on that.
So,
We are gonna have you back many times.
it's fun, it's a lot of fun.
Thank you so much,
My
because
pleasure.
I'm going to, as we always do at the end of the next day, I'm gonna send out, I'll send out the bios again, because some people didn't come, but then there's some people that didn't get us the bios in time. But we're also gonna send you
Good?
contact
Okay, good.
information for Mary.
She's great too.
So that she can
But I
make
really
sure
tried
that.
to
Yes,
make it
no,
simplistic.
you did a
So
good job,
organized.
and thank you guys, thank you